Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Manoj Singh Rana, and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines: Government slashes basic duty on crude palm oil, crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil from 2.5% to nil. Rationalizes import duties on various edible oils to control prices. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says country witnesses highest sales in a decade of worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees during festive season. Lords vocal for local initiative for bringing joy to small artisans. Over 107 crore 95 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered under the nationwide vaccination drive so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.23%, highest since March 2020. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh remanded to 14-day judicial custody in connection with alleged money laundering case. 10 patients die in major fire in Ahmednagar Civil Hospital in Maharashtra. President, Vice President and Prime Minister express grief. Met Department predicts cyclonic movement towards North Tamil Nadu during next 48 hours. Fishermen advised not to venture into sea till 13th November. In Afghanistan, 4 women including a women's rights activist killed in northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. Over 91 dead in massive oil tanker explosion in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, England take on South Africa in Sharjah. Australia beat West Indies by 8 wickets in Abu Dhabi. As India created history by administering 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact the national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now, the news in detail. The government has slashed the basic duty on crude palm oil, crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil from 2.5% to nil in a bid to rein in the continuous rise in the cooking oil prices for the past 1 year. The agri cess on these oils has been brought down from 20% to 7.5% for crude palm oil and 5% for crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil. More from our correspondent.
After the government's decision, the total duty is reduced to 7.5% for crude palm oil and 5% for crude soybean and crude sunflower oil. The basic duty on RBD palmolene oil, refined soybean and refined sunflower oil has been slashed to 17.5% from the current 32.5%. Before reduction, the agricultural infrastructure cess on all forms of crude edible oil was 20%. Post reduction, the effective duty on crude palm oil will be 8.25% and for crude soybean and crude sunflower oil, it will be 5.5% each. The government has rationalized import duties on palm oil, sunflower oil and soybean oil with a view to control prices of edible oil. It has also suspended futures trading in mustard oil on National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange Limited and imposed stock limits. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Talking to AIR, the General Secretary of the Confederation of All India Traders, Praveen Khandelwal, said,
The Confederation of All India Traders greatly appreciate the stand taken by the central government for reducing import duty on oils. So therefore, now the price of the oil will certainly come down from 7 rupees to 20 rupees. And all these prices will have to come down on palm oil, groundnut oil, soybean oil, and sunflower oil, etc. The important thing is that this reduction of import duty should be passed on to the consumers by the manufacturers. It has been noticed in the past that these big manufacturers keep this decline of import duty with them and do not pass the benefit to the consumers.
Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has said that the highest sales in a decade was witnessed during this festive season, with products worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees sold across the country. In a tweet, Mr. Goyal said, "It is a Diwali dhamaka for retailers." He said it is joy for small artisans as customers go vocal for local. The Confederation of All India Traders, CAIT, which represents about 70 million traders, said the tremendous sales response came as a much-needed breather for retailers facing a slowdown for the past 2 years. The CAIT said it has also made businesses optimistic about the near future. CAIT President B.C. Bhartiya and Secretary General Praveen Khandelwal said in Delhi alone the business was about 25,000 crore rupees. They said consumers preferred Indian goods this time, leading to a direct loss of over 50,000 crore rupees of business to Chinese exporters.
More than 107 crore 95 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said more than 20 lakh 75,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. The ministry said that a total of 10,929 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 98.23%, the highest since March 2020. A total of 12,509 people have recovered in the last 24 hours. In Manipur, 46 persons were confirmed as new COVID-19 positive cases during the last 24 hours. These cases were detected among the 1,118 samples tested for the virus, and the positivity rate is 4.1%. One COVID-19 related death case was reported in the last 24 hours. The cumulative death toll stands at 1,931.
With the UN Climate Summit of the Conference of Parties COP26 in Glasgow underway, All India Radio brings you a ready reckoner every day. Under the COP26 Explainer series, we bring you daily the terms, jargon and concepts in use during the conference. Today, we shall talk about adaptation. Adaptation is the process of adjustment to climate change and its effects. The purpose is to reduce the harms and utilize the potential opportunities. Adaptation seeks to lower the risks posed by the consequences of climatic changes. Examples of adaptation include using scarce water resources more efficiently, adapting buildings to future climate conditions and extreme weather events, and developing drought-tolerant crops. The adaptation programs result in creation of green jobs, reduce risk for the poor and vulnerable, and protect our environment for the future generations. At the COP26, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that adaptation has not received the importance that it ought to have in the global efforts to fight climate change. He said this is an injustice to developing nations which are more impacted by climate change. Hence, there is an urgent need to make adaptation a key component of developmental projects and policy. AIR News spoke to the Chairman, Energy Council, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Sunil Jain, on the role of adaptations for climate change.
Climate change is real and we all are witnessing it in our daily life, as also countries are witnessing extreme weather conditions and more frequent disaster events. While we mitigate climate change, we must adapt to the facts and modify our behavior in consumption, in travel, in eating, in housing, etc. Countries will face extreme drought or floods at the same time in different parts. We must adapt to different crop patterns. We must adapt to forest fires, and we may prepare to avoid same, or for floods we need stronger embankments. The examples are many, and UN has also said that adaptation is going to be a way forward and we cannot wish it away. One thing is for sure, adaptations by governments alone will not help, and people will have to be equally responsible and participative.
In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Professor and Head of Dr. RP Center for Ophthalmic Sciences, AIIMS, New Delhi, Dr. J.S. Titiyal will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on toll-free number 1800-11-5767 and on telephone number 011-2331-4444. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.nic.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. The Centre has said that a total of 22 states and union territories have so far undertaken commensurate reduction of VAT on petrol and diesel to give relief to consumers following its decision to significantly reduce central excise duty on petrol and diesel. The central government has reduced the excise duty on petrol by 5 rupees and by 10 rupees on diesel per litre. The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas in a statement said that the most reduction in the petrol price has been in the Union Territory of Ladakh, where it was cut by 13.43 rupees, followed by Karnataka by 13.35 rupees, and in Puducherry it came down by 12.85 rupees a litre. In case of diesel, the most reduction has been undertaken by the Union Territory of Ladakh, leading to price coming down by 19.67 rupees per litre, followed by Karnataka and Puducherry. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Government slashes basic duty on crude palm oil, crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil from 2.5% to nil. Rationalizes import duties on various edible oils to control prices. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says country witnesses highest sales in a decade worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees during festive season. Lords vocal for local initiative for bringing joy to small artisans. Over 107 crore 95 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered under the nationwide vaccination drive so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.23%, highest since March 2020. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh remanded to 14-day judicial custody in connection with alleged money laundering case. 10 patients die in major fire in Ahmednagar Civil Hospital in Maharashtra. President, Vice President and Prime Minister express grief. Met Department predicts cyclonic movement towards North Tamil Nadu during next 48 hours. Fishermen advised not to venture into sea till 13th of November. In Afghanistan, 4 women, including a women's rights activist, killed in northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. Over 91 dead in massive oil tanker explosion in Sierra Leone's capital Freetown. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, England take on South Africa in Sharjah. Australia beat West Indies by 8 wickets in Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मात नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मात नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास. तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार.
Welcome back to the evening news. A special holiday court today remanded former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh to a 14-day judicial custody in connection with an alleged money laundering case. The Enforcement Directorate, ED, probing the case sought his remand for 9 more days, but the court refused the probe agency's plea and sent him to judicial custody. Deshmukh was arrested by the ED late Monday night after 12 hours of questioning. A court had on Tuesday remanded him in the agency's custody till the 6th of November. He was produced before the special court at the end of his ED custody today. The money laundering case against Deshmukh and others was made out after the Central Bureau of Investigation booked him in a corruption case related to allegations of at least 100 crore rupees bribery made by former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh. In Maharashtra, 10 people were killed in a blaze that broke out in the intensive care unit for COVID patients in Ahmednagar's civil hospital. In all, 17 patients were taking treatment in this ward. Other patients in the ward have suffered burn injuries and they've been shifted to another hospital. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has directed the Ahmednagar District Collector to conduct an in-depth inquiry into the matter and submit the report within a week. Our correspondent has more details.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, who has directed to conduct a high-level inquiry into the fire incident in the ICU for COVID patients in the Ahmednagar Civil Hospital, has said that strict action will be taken against the culprits. Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar said that to prevent such repetition of fire incidents in the hospitals, directions have been given to implement necessary precautionary measures. In a tweet, State Health Minister Rajesh Tope has announced 5 lakh rupees compensation to the next of the kin. He informed that 7 patients were rescued. Union Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Bharati Pawar, has also expressed grief over the incident. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
President and Vice President have expressed sadness on the loss of lives due to fire in a hospital in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. President Ramnath Kovind said the news of the death of people due to a fire at civil hospital in Ahmednagar is extremely sad. He expressed condolences to the bereaved families and wished a speedy recovery to the injured. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said he is pained to learn about the loss of lives in a fire that broke out in the ICU ward of Ahmednagar District Hospital in Maharashtra. He expressed condolences to the bereaved families. Mr. Naidu said his thoughts and prayers are with the injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed anguish at the loss of lives due to a fire in a hospital in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. In a tweet, he gave his condolences to the bereaved families and wished for the injured to recover at the earliest.
News just in. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 108 crore landmark milestone today. Till now, more than 108 crore 18 lakh vaccine doses have been administered. The Health Ministry said more than 25 lakh 54,000 vaccine doses were administered today. The Regional Met Department has predicted that a cyclonic circulation over southeast Bay of Bengal is likely to become more marked and move towards North Tamil Nadu during the next 48 hours. The system is expected to bring rains for another 5 days in various parts of the state. Fishermen have been advised not to venture into the sea till the 13th of this month. Advisories have been issued to them to return to the shores immediately. A report.
Heavy to very heavy rainfall likely to occur in coastal districts of the state. Orange warning has been issued indicating heavy rains on 10th and 11th in northern districts and delta areas. Extremely heavy rain predicted for the coastal districts from 11th to 13th. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin held a meeting today evening with ministers and district collectors of the state to be prepared for the ensuing week and take every possible preventive measures for the expected challenges. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu reached Patna this evening for a 2-day tour to Bihar. During the tour, Mr. Naidu will visit 2 districts of East Champaran and Nalanda districts. Tomorrow, the Vice President will address the second convocation of Dr. Rajendra Prasad Central Agriculture University on the premises of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Horticulture and Forestry College at Piprakote in Motihari in East Champaran district of the state. Vice Chancellor Professor Ramesh Chandra Srivastava told AIR News altogether 850 students of agriculture and allied subjects will be awarded degrees at the event.
महामहिम उपराष्ट्रपति विश्वविद्यालय के द्वितीय दीक्षांत समारोह में अपना दीक्षांत भाषण देंगे। कल करीब 850 बच्चों को डिग्री दी जाएगी। उन 850 बच्चों में करीब 300 से 350 बच्चे प्रेजेंट रहेंगे। बाकियों को इन एब्सेंसिया दी जाएगी और 3 बिल्डिंग्स का हमारे हॉर्टिकल्चर कॉलेज की हैं और साथ ही बेतिया में एक हमारा बना है सेंटर फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट एंड कंजर्वेशन ऑफ इंडिजिनस कैटल, उसका भी वो उद्घाटन करेंगे।
The Delhi Regional Security Dialogue on Afghanistan will be hosted by India on the 10th of November. The NSA-level meeting will be chaired by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval.
In Bihar, the number of casualties in Hooch tragedy has gone up to 37 as 4 people including 2 army jawans died in Samastipur district today, while 17 people died in Gopalganj. 16 people lost their lives in Betia area of West Champaran. Over 12 people are undergoing treatment in government and private hospitals. Meanwhile, a special investigation team has been assigned to investigate the Hooch tragedy in the state, which has claimed many lives. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter Mangaldas Pakwasa, who left us on the 6th of November 1968. A social worker and politician in post-independence era, he was a confidant of Mahatma Gandhi and one among the first 5 Indian governors. He served as the governor of Madhya Pradesh, Bombay and Mysore, and was the first president of the Bharat Scouts and Guides from 1953 to 1960.
Mangaldas Pakwasa was born in Mumbai on 7th May 1882. He graduated from the Bombay University in 1903 and completed his law studies, winning Arnold Scholarship in Hindu law. He became associated with the freedom struggle movement and left his robust practice as a successful solicitor during the civil disobedience movement to take part in Dandi March, for which he was imprisoned.
Mangaldas was a leading member of the All India Village Industries Association and also served as its honorary legal advisor. After Indian independence, he was active in his social and political career and became a member of the Bombay Legislative Council.
Mangaldas passed away on November the 6th, 1968, but he remained committed to reaching out to citizens of India till the very last. We salute the nationalistic zeal of this great Gandhian.
On the 6th of November in 1913, Mahatma Gandhi was arrested for leading a march of more than 2,000 people in a peaceful protest of satyagraha against the unfair tax on Indian immigrants in South Africa.
As is said, leading Indians in South Africa in protest against injustice was part of Gandhiji's learning curve. Through his experiments in South Africa, Gandhiji understood the diversity of the Indian community and the importance of creating spaces that were open to all people, irrespective of religion, caste or creed. These experiences provided him a template for the long struggle that lay ahead in India.
During this time, Gandhi was not arrested just once, but thrice, back to back. He was first arrested on November 6th, then released the next day on bail paid by Herman Kallenbach, a good friend of Gandhi. Gandhi was arrested again on the 8th and released the same day. Finally, he was arrested on the 9th and sentenced at first for 9 months of imprisonment, but later extended to 12 months.
However, he was unexpectedly released on the 18th of December 1913. In 1914, the Indian Relief Bill abolished the £3 tax imposed on Indians who had not renewed their indentures and also recognized the validity of Indian customary marriages. Thus, the peaceful struggle gained its objectives.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In Afghanistan, 4 women have been killed in the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif, a spokesman for the Taliban government said today, as local sources identified at least one of the victims as a rights activist. 2 suspects have been arrested after the 4 bodies were found at a house in the city, said Interior Ministry spokesman Qari Sayyid Khosti. The arrested people have been admitted in initial interrogation that the women were invited to the house by them. Further investigations are underway and the case has been referred to the court, he said. At least 91 people died and dozens more injured after a massive explosion in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. The blast happened after a 40-feet-long oil tanker collided with another vehicle at a busy junction in the city. Freetown Mayor Yvonne Aki Sawyer described the incident harrowing, but said the scale of the damage was not yet clear.
Today is Bhai Dooj. This is a festival celebrated by the Hindus on the second lunar day of Shukla Paksh. It is celebrated during the Diwali and Holi festival. In the southern part of the country, the day is celebrated as Yam Dutiya. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted everyone on the auspicious occasion of Bhai Dooj. In a tweet, PM Modi conveyed his best wishes to everyone. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Akash Kumar on winning the medal at the World Boxing Championship. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "This success will motivate young boxers to excel." The Prime Minister also wished him the very best for his future endeavours. Akash Kumar won a bronze medal in the 54-kilogram category at the World Boxing Championship.
In the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, South Africa were 140 for 2 in 16.2 overs against England in Sharjah when the reports last came in. Earlier, England won the toss and elected to field. In earlier match today, Australia defeated West Indies by 8 wickets at Abu Dhabi. Chasing the victory target of 158 runs, Australia scored 161 for 2 wickets with 22 balls remaining. David Warner, the top scorer for Australia, made 89 runs. Put into bat first, West Indies scored 157 runs for the loss of 7 wickets. For Australia, Josh Hazlewood scalped the 4 wickets. All India Radio is broadcasting ball-by-ball commentary of the World Cup matches.
Eminent cricket coach and Dronacharya awardee Tarak Sinha passed away in New Delhi today after a prolonged illness. He was 71. Tarak Sinha was battling lung cancer for a while. He was a father figure in coaching and produced some of the country's finest cricketers who ruled domestic and international cricket. Tarak Sinha trained stalwarts including Manoj Prabhakar, Raman Lamba, Ajay Sharma, Atul Vasan, Surinder Khanna, Sanjeev Sharma, Akash Chopra, Anjum Chopra, Rumeli Dhar, Ashish Nehra, Shikhar Dhawan and Rishabh Pant. Talking to AIR News, sports commentator Ghaus Mohammed said, "Demise of Tarak Sinha is a big loss for the Indian cricket." He said Sinha had a great eye to spot talents and nurture them.
Today is the great loss of Indian cricket because Tarak Sinha was a cricket farmer who could reap crops on barren land. He had a great eye to spot talent and he was a rare coach who scouted for young cricketers with amazing success. May his soul rest in peace.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have a partly cloudy sky with mist or shallow fog in the morning and strong surface winds during the day. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky. Chennai is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. And before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government slashes basic duty on crude palm oil, crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil from 2.5% to nil. Rationalizes import duties on edible oils to control prices. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says country witnesses highest sales in a decade worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees during festive season. Lords vocal for local initiative for bringing joy to small artisans. Over 108 crore 18 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered under the nationwide vaccination drive so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.23%, highest since March 2020. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh remanded to 14-day judicial custody in connection with alleged money laundering case. 10 patients die in major fire in Ahmednagar Civil Hospital in Maharashtra. President, Vice President and Prime Minister express grief. Met Department predicts cyclonic movement towards North Tamil Nadu during next 48 hours. Fishermen advised not to venture into sea till 13th November. In Afghanistan, 4 women, including a women's rights activist, killed in northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, England take on South Africa in Sharjah. Australia beat West Indies by 8 wickets in Abu Dhabi. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.